AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพเปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ
Indonesia did well to get through along with the Indian, Malaysia, Republic of Korea, Kentarichi, who's been around forever from Japan, diving well. Saki qualified there in 8th place, but Wu Haram already with 3 medals is chasing KZ Yi and KO Yan. 6 dives to come, and all very difficult dives. Looking down, there are going to be 2 of the most difficult dives in the world. That's the front 2.5 somersaults with triple twist. That's 3.9 degree of difficulty. So 2 of those done, one by KO and one by Wu, and also 4.5s at 3.8. First off, Botarov from Azerbaijan did really well on that final dive in the prelims to go ahead of Rafi of Indonesia to seal his spot in this final. First dive, forward, 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist, pike position. Great start too. He deserved to be in the final if he keeps going that way. Perfect landing, there's throw, now snaps out into the single twist, now pulls forward, looks over the top of the toes, everything felt very comfortable for him. A little wobble going through. Coach should be happy with that. 63, good start for him. To Padawan. He had an amazing last round of 6 in the prelims to seal his place. Not particularly difficult list. He's got 1 hard dive in the last round at 3.4. This, number 2.5 in the pike position, 3.0. Best result was in the Southeast Asian Games, where he picked up a bronze. 19-year-old. It's looking good. Very nice in with 2.5, through over the top of the board, got the dive moving. Good balance there, watching his feet, not too close to the board. Perfect distance, just lines up in the wrong direction. Chin tucked in, and the legs kicked over. You can see a lot of potential. Just in his first year as a senior, 61.5. So just slightly tucked in behind Botarov. Good crowd here for Indonesia. Putra qualified in 10th place. Both a springboard and a highboard diver. Looking a lot more relaxed than he did in the prelims. Had a few scary moments, but he's in there. And he too is starting off with an inward 2.5 somersaults, pike position. That's more like it. I did think he was going to drop out short, but a nice sound to the entry. The crowd like it as well. There's the throw, the hug. Just squeeze a little bit more. He's done it there. Finishes board level. Sights the water. Well, he's going to like those scores. 8s are going up. Big smile from him. 64.5. He's got into the lead. Bradatan of India. He proved that strength really does work in the springboard competition. He wheeled himself around on his dives. First one, 3.1, forward 3.5 somersaults. Oh, it's back from the end of the diving board, but it didn't matter. Threw hard, spun fast, pulled in well. Yeah, excellent pike position. Oh, got a real potential. Just 21 years of age, and he'll just get stronger and stronger. Springboard divers can go into their 30s. 60.45, that's good. Anything in the 60s is fine. So Malaysia's Chu Yui, 22-year-old, no medals at the moment. Malaysia with 1 silver and 1 bronze for the team. good, 3.5, always in control. Slightly drifted forward, just out past judge number 2. Good pull in. Yeah, spots it. I looked at the 5 metre to the side there. You can see how high he was going up. Yeah, in control, and another diver that knows when to punch for the water. 69, the high score. Kim Yong-nam, silver medal in the bag. Well, in the prelims. Disappointed 4 years ago, just missed that bronze, finishing in 4th. He's decided to start with a back 2.5 pike. Tarachi is going to do the same dive after this. Well, I thought he was going to go very short. He kicked the feet under the diving ball, but it was spinning fast. It probably worked for him. Beautiful whippy start here. Pulls forward. Perhaps just a fraction early there. It's a bit ambitious. Pulls it around, though. Pretty much the Chinese style. 72 points. So, for the moment, he goes ahead of Chu. Kent Tarachi, who has been around pretty much forever. First saw him in the 1996 Olympics out in Atlanta. He's been in every single one, except for London. Didn't dive there, so 5 Olympics. And similar to Kim, it's out early, pulls it around. Don't think it'll go 70s, though. Kim Yong-nam, the better of the back 2.5s. Start is good. Just a small drift there. Yeah, chin is up. Well, let's see. 8. Judges are used to seeing him on the board. And he has actually gone a point more on 73. So a favourite with the judges. And why not? Louise Lang, the 24-year-old, one of the Malaysians that hasn't got a medal so far. He's keen to get one. Front 3.5 pike. Yeah, brilliant dive. Up high, good pike. No expression from the coaches, though. Just a little late getting into the tight pike. Head up. He spots the water, though. Locks out. That'll be in the 70s, and it is 74. So as each diver goes, we're getting higher. We started on 69, 72, 73, and now Ui with 74. Saki Sho. Just down on .1 of tariff with this inward 2.5 somersaults pike. Another of the divers that has a bronze already. Current bronze medalist from 4 years ago. Lovely sound to that entry, that tearing sound, the rip sound. Lots of bubbles, very little splash. Good balance, watching the feet, not too close to the board. Just about missed it, that was fine. Well, we have been talking about the standard of diving here at the Asian Games, and many a time it's been like an Olympic final with these scores, 8.5s and 9s, and having the Olympic champion in there. It really feels like it. Wu Haran, who has got the most medals of all the divers. Was beautiful. We haven't set a foot wrong so far. 6 near perfect dives in the prelims, and a brilliant start with that 2.5 2 twist. He just goes up and up and up. And look, the head position's good, no wobble at all. Arms check out, sees the water from 3 meters up. The judges will be impressed. 76.50. Well, I wonder if we're going to get into the 80s now. 1, 8 gold. Finished with 515 in the prelims. This is a 3.4. Matches Wu's twister, which was on 3.4. Oh, that was superb. That's got to get a 9. And if it does, we'll see the first 80-pointer. Perfect throw, very tight. You can see how strong, how conditioned he is. Pikes out above the board. And this is a 3.4. 9's coming up from the judges. And we are 83 points. The other diver's on 70. And the Chinese diver has really stepped up a gear in this competition. If you keep going through on 80s, you're going to go well over 500 as the final score, and that's going to be needed to win this competition. Casey Yi, the winner in the prelims, world champion. Well, it was good. I'm not sure it's as good as Wu's, though, because of the splash on the end. He did match Wu in height. He's out. Good double twist. But for him, that is a splashy entry. Yeah, just covering a lot of his wrist as he lines up. 88.40. The judges are giving it to him. So after one round, I can tell you, even without seeing the lineup and the scores coming up, it'll be China, China, and there it is with the 80 points. Casey Yi out there ahead. So the 70s are still good. Wu Haram with his great twister. Ui is in there too. Two Japanese divers, Sakai and Tarachi, are also started off very well. Indonesian down there on 60 points. Good. All divers into the 60s, 70s or 80s. So that's a good start for round one in this 8th final. Second round of dives now coming up. Botarov first up. He'll be starting all the time. Currently on 63 points. Qualified in 12th. Has now moved up to 10th. He's doing well. Big dive in with 3.5. He backs up away from the ball. The legs come up in front. He can't get the spin going. Runs out of room. And as he took off, he knew this was going to be a struggle. It's going back. He tries to bring the knees apart to increase the rotation. It just hasn't worked. You've got to get some jump up in the air. And always it's dropping down to the water and rides over. So that is a big miss, a missed opportunity. That's a 3-4. Wow, he's really been caned for it. Some 2.5s down there. So under 100 points for him at the moment. To pad one. Good start, 61 points. Qualified in 11th, currently in 11th, 3.5 pike. Pretty straight going through the water. The interesting way he came out, just lifts the chest up and that kills the rotation. Little stamp on the ball, not too bad there. But you need to get rid of that gap. The face was away from the shins. And on the replay, we just see a slight drift to the side. Yeah, the coach saw it too. 6.5s and 7s. 1, 2, 3. Huta, same dive. Superb. Dropped down on the end of the diving board. Wasn't a rush to get off. And the ball kips him up into the air. It's flying through the air at this point. And boy, this feels so good. He's squeezing tight. It's not difficult to pull in. And when he comes around, he's surprised at how high he's finishing. And goes, wow. It just disappears. That was one of the best 3.5s we've seen him do. Gets those 8s. 1 8.5, 1 3.7. Good second dive. Kong Ratum, 60.45. back in 12th at the moment. Back 2.5 somersaults pike. Standing a long time. Yeah, good effort, better than the prelims. Missed it just slightly, just down in the 50s for 5.5, 6. This is better. Good reach back, pulling pike, looking again, using his eyes. That's good. You see the feet go right at the end of the diving board. Just can't hold it together though as he goes through the water. So he's scoring half a point more with those 6.5s in the prelims. So 118 is a little bit more ahead. Malaysia nearly got into the 70s with that 3.5 pike. Now it's his inward 0.4. He's got a 3.5 coming up in the next round, and at the end he's got a 3.4. So good set of dives, high set of tariff. Yeah, did a good job with that as well. Just started to move back, got the final push up in the air, and then spun very fast. Just here, got to keep the weight over the toes. Yeah, slight movement back. Just not very sure on the entry. Goes in for a vertical entry, but does look a bit unsure as he comes around to spot the water. 144, so for the moment, he goes ahead. Yang, the first of the 70 pointers in round one with that back 2.5. We want to stay ahead of Chu, who's on 144. Big dive, 3.4. Double twisting, 2.5. Back from the end. Oh, he's lost it on the end. He had a problem on the takeoff. He was back on the end, slightly to the left-hand side. That does put you off. And here it's using a little bit more of his strength rather than the spring for the board. And then just here is about half a metre lower than normal and doesn't get a good spot at the water. So that 140, that's a miss. He's going to go behind the Malaysian, who's on 144. Kentarachi also had a very good start. First Japanese to win a medal at the World Championships. So it was back in 2001 with that bronze. Oh, I like the way he floated around on that. Probably just a little out early. Lovely takeoff, fast spin, floats around. Yeah, just the feet need to be a little higher on the 2.25. Here the feet drop down a fraction too much. Tries to get the save on it. 141. So he's behind both Chu and Kim of Malaysia and Korea. But still very close. So Ui had the highest score in the first round at this point. Reverse 2.5, 1.5. So we'll start forward and then reach back over the board for the reverse. My goodness, that's the way to do it. No problems about fear, not worrying about the board. He saw his mark, landed on the end of the diving board, let the ball go down, and it's taken him up and up and up. And still, as he's twisting and going into the pike, he's at the top of the dive. Now he's dropping, he's still above the board, finishing so high. What an impressive takeoff for the Malaysian. 148, so at the moment, he's just squeaked ahead. Sakai on 73 points. That was a good start. Reverse 2.5. Beautiful dive again. So some of these divers are not missing their takeoff at all. They're getting the jump up in the air. They look so much sharper at lunchtime. Don't like the flat feet, though. We'll get rid of those, but keep the rest of the dive. I see, or I hear 1-9 from a judge. The 9 gets knocked off, 150. So, for the moment, he goes ahead. 3 divers still to go. We have some big dives coming up. First from Wu Haram. He's going to do an inward. 3.5, 3.4. He's on 76 points. So apart from the Chinese, he's right up there in 3rd place at the moment. Yeah, another good dive for him. Not sure it's as good as the prelims where he went 80-something points. Just a little sloppy on the out. And you can guess he's been to the Olympic Games. Squeeze tight, points toes, comes around on the triple. Yeah, chin just down a little bit, took his eye off the water as he reached for it. But that 156 gives him a 6-point buffer over Sakai of Japan. But now it's the battle between KO and CC Yi. At the moment, CC Yi is winning that battle by 5.1 points. So KO Yan here really needs this reverse twister. So one of the judges, yeah, they're settled now. And referee says we can continue. And we didn't really want to have a pause this part way through the competition. They read out the score wrong before. And there you can see in front, Lena pointing back, Olympic champion for 2000. She's the main gun of running this competition. It's good to see Asia bringing back Olympic champions in the way of their officials. So now, there is the revised score for Wu Haram. He's still on 176.4, but the judging is correct. 2 divers to go in round 2. First up is Kao Yan, who is behind by 5 points to KC Yi. And they're going to match each other on the degree of difficulty. So this reverse twister coming up is 3.5, nearly matched by KZ's 3-3. He's doing a twister as well, different type. Well, you'd think that the pause would put off a diver. With Kao Yan, 2-time Olympic champion. He's been here before, he's in his zone, he's thinking about his dive, and as soon as he walks, he'll be on autopilot. Take that deep breath, calm yourself down, get poised, think about the jump. Oh, it's a beautiful jump too. This is a dive that used to be 3-3. They've upped the degree of difficulty because they realised it is so hard. It's now 3-5, and you just keep twisting forever. 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and then pike down, spot the water, and when it goes right, you just feel like you're flying in a glider and just gliding your way through. We have 2 9s there, 172. So he's still within sight of KZ Yi, who is now doing another twister, but this is a reverse 2.5 with 1.5 twist in the pike position, just down by 0.2 on degree of difficulty, but a 5-point lead after the first round. Oh, he's missed his entry, ducked his chin down, it's gone over, and that gives an opportunity for Kao Yan to go ahead. Now he's on 172, and KZE feels good at this point. Why does he pull his head down? He's reaching for the wrong part of the water, and clearly you can see this splash being thrown up. That is a miss for him, and he's lost 10 points. He's down on 162 against 172, and so he's lost 15 points just because of that entry. So after 2 rounds of dives, it's changed at the top. The Olympic champion is now in the lead, and he has just barely a 10-point lead over KZ Yi, who's dropped back a little bit. And look at that, how close Wu Haram is now on 156, just 6 points behind the world champion. And we still have all this 4 rounds to go. Down at the bottom, Indonesia, Thailand, India, and Azerbaijan. There's KO, who's now in the lead. He'll be feeling a little bit relaxed. He's got that big dive coming up, though, in a couple of rounds. Round number 5, he's 3.9. He's missed it for the last 2 competitions. Knocked him out of the chance of being a world champion. Went from 1st to 10th. But first now in round 3. Botterov, who is down in 12th place at the moment. Back to our Pike. Good try too. Out at the right time, just doesn't reach back hard enough to pull the dive around. Just catches the water a little bit on his shoulders. Good swing into it. Tight Pike. Yeah, he just came out too wide with his arms and then gets caught. The arms aren't reaching back enough. 6.5 sevens for 160. So he's averaging 60 points a dive. 63 on the first one, 58 on the second, 62 on that. Band 1 of Thailand. Back in 11th place. That's a good effort. Was starting to lean forward, got it pushed up in the air, right distance from the diving board. He clenches his fists when he goes into the twist. That's interesting. Fingers are pointed, now he clenches them, and then points them again, and then grabs his hands and punches for the water. 186. That's good for him. So 26 points of Butterov. So the claps are coming because Indonesian Putra is on the board. Putra back in 10th place on 137 at that moment. Big dive for him. In with 3.5 somersaults. This is his big dive, choosing to use it in round 3 and not in round 5 and 6 like the other divers. Oh, good effort too. He was very low to the water. It didn't faze him, and he just shot out of that tuck into a straight, and it worked for him. Not particularly high, not particularly fast. He's dropping to the water, but look what he does here. Hands to the water, feet to the ceiling, and he actually gets a vertical entry. So a great effort there. And he's smiling too, and he's gone over 200 points. Well, that was excellent. So he's ahead now of Thailand and Azerbaijan. A fair margin as well, 22 points. So, Brother Japan has done so well to get into this finals. Qualified back in 8th place. Back now it's a reverse 2.5 somersaults. It's currently on 118. Standing for a long time, thinking about this dive, wants to do it well. He struggled there, lands on the left-hand side and slightly back from the end of the diving board. So even with his strength, without the right technique, the feet come up too late. Not quite sure what to do with the end. So even that long wait, thinking about the dive several times before walking into the hurdle step hasn't worked for him. It's a big miss with just 4.5s. He's down on just 156 against 208 Putra of Indonesia. So another very difficult 3.5 coming up here for Chu. 144. Good first 2 dives. He's averaging 77 points a dive at the moment. Yes, it's good. I was watching him land on the end of the board. He didn't panic. He didn't leave the ball too early, and he just keeps going up. So at this point, he's now thinking about his entry because he feels comfortable. Kicks solid, reach it back. He knows he has time for it. And that's a really good reverse 3.5. Not the best, but technically very good. And 2-2-6 takes him 18 points of Putra of Indonesia. Bong Yongnam is a 3-3. It's another reverse twister. Oh, feet very close to the end of the ball, but it didn't matter. Disappears through the water. Yeah, you've just got to get the judgment right on these reverses. If you pull too hard into the twist, and it is a good twist too, those toes are a little close as he goes through. I don't think the judges will mark it as dangerous. And I can hear the 8s, so it's worked for him. 1-4-6 already. Will he go over into the 200s? He is. He's on 2-14. But that keeps him 12 points behind Chu of Malaysia, who's on 2-2-6. Kintarachi, also in the 140s at the moment. Good first two dives, those back and reverse 2.5s. Now his reverse twister. Oh, yes, his feet a little close to that board. These divers going for it. Yeah, the coach is saying, pulled that shoulder back. And again, the judges will see he's over the top of the board, but as he pulls into the pike, his toes clear the board. By staying close like that, it makes the dive look higher. The coach saying, yeah, pulled your shoulder back. He's on 2-16. So 2 points now ahead, Kim Yong-nam of Korea. But still 10 points behind Chu of Malaysia. Tui, also on a big score, just over 150. Reverse 3.5 somersaults. Good. Oh, and he misses it at the end. It was so high, so fast, very comfortable, higher than normal because of that adrenaline and the weight on the board, and he doesn't make the adjustment, kicks out as normal, but he's an actual meter higher than normal, so that normal kick out is far too late and has gone over. So that 148 high score he had has not worked. He's now on 208, and that is a drop of some 25 points for him. Sakai Show, 2 points ahead of Ui, who has just missed his dive. A little slow on the throw, a little slow on the rotation, so after he finished the double twist, the water was there, not way below him. Yeah, this is way too open on the beginning. A little wobbly on the twist there, and sloppy with the feet. I think because he realises all is lost at that point. So another diver in low scores, 2-2-1. Not as bad as Ui, who's down on 208. But Wu, who cannot put a foot roll, who is just 6 points behind at the moment in third place. This is a dive that's a make or break. It's a 4.5, it's a 3.8. Oh, and he's lost it. Just there on the second somersault, he'd need to keep squeezing, increase the rotation. He hasn't done it. You can see the strain. It's just not going fast enough for him. He's dropping, he's running out of room. He knows he shouldn't have piked out. He needed to stay in that tuck a bit longer and just shoot out to a straight position. And another missed opportunity. And look at that, only 4s. And this is a dive where you can get over 100 points, not 30. Fair one. One 10-point lead at the moment, or to be precise, it's a 9.95 lead over Casey Yi. Reverse 3.5 somersaults, 3.5. Casey Yi has a 3.6. Just about got there. It wasn't a great takeoff. Stamped the board a little bit forward, but the Olympic champion knows what to do with it. Yeah, the board's flying up and down behind him. That's a sign that the board is not in rhythm with him. Tight kick out though, reaching back. Now, I can hear the nines. Imagine what he would have scored if that was a good takeoff. Nines, we've got 2 9.5s, 2 6 7. Well, this is going to be a challenge for the world champion. Casey now with a back 3.5 tuck, 0.1 more than the reverse 3.5. He's got to get to 2 6 7 to go ahead, but he's already 10 points behind. He's on 162. He needs at least 105 points. But the most you can get on this is 108. He needs 10s to go ahead with KO. Oh, it's going to be very close. We've just seen 9s and 2 9.5s from KO Yan, and that got into 2.67. This is 0.1 more. I can hear some big scores. And it's a big dive as well, with a big jump and a massive entry with the reach back. Now, can he catch up with that 10-point deficit? He's on 2.59. He's called up by 2 points, and he has 2 9.5s and 9s as well. So matched on the scores, but about 0.1 more. He's now got closer within 2 points. So 2.67 for Ko Young, Olympic champion. 2.59 for the world champion. Chu of Malaysia now goes into 3rd place and is some 33 points behind. It's going to be a battle, a shootout between the Japanese divers as well. And now Ui has probably lost any chance of getting a medal. And he's not had any for this competition, and it'll be a disappointment for him. So with 3 rounds completed, we're halfway through this men's 3-meter final, and it does feel a little bit like an Olympic final, with 9s and 9.5s going up from the world champion and the Olympic champion. But it's not over until it's over. And with 3 more rounds to go, you never know. We've already had 2 stops on the diving board from previous competitions. Reverse 2.5, bottom off. Feet over the end of the diving board, going forward, and he still pulls the dive around. So good effort there. Average of 60 points so far from the judges. He's on 160 after 3 rounds, but clearly missed the takeoff, almost going past the judges. So he's going forward, 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 out past or near to judge number 1. So 220. So that's another 60-pointer. So let's see what Junta Padawal can do, the 19-year-old from Thailand. He's currently in 10th place, qualified in 11th, so he's moved up 1 place. Back to the half pike. Good entry too. Could have had a little bit more pointed toes going through the water. That makes the dive easy. A few claps coming from the coach. Swing, reach forward, good pike, finishes above the ball, reaches back, good knee save. So he's on 186 ahead of Otarov. And we'll stay ahead with that as well. Should score more than 60 points. And he's increased the lead now to 249. So good effort there from the Thai. Indonesia, Huta. 208.75. Same dive as Junta Padawal. So So the 22-year-old has a 22-point lead, so he should be up in the 260s, 270s, and he will be as well. I love that sound. It's not the prettiest of the back 2.5s. Coach liked it, crowd liked it, will the judges like it? I'm sure they will with that entry. Good pike, using his eyes. Yeah, he's very sure of himself there. I can see that flat hand reaching back, drawing the water down with him. That's 276. Well, that's 27-point now lead over Junta Padawan. So 156 at the moment. Okon Brow at Japan. Yes, he's going to do him with 2.5. But he's so far back. Hasn't averaged 60 points to dive. So the 21-year-old diving for experience. Out too early, takes a look too early and drops short of Erdskog. It's quite an easy dive at 3.0. Most difficult dive. He's going to actually add a somersault in the last round. But need to get a better jump if you're going to make your 3.5. If you're struggling in a 2.5, it's not a good sign for your big dive. So 2.14 is dropping back continually. Shui, Malaysia. He's up next on the board, ready for his dive. Doing all right, it's on 2.26. That's good. Another back 2.5. So third back 2.5 in round 4. We'll see it one more time by Saki a little later on. A bit slow on the pickup, and you're struggling when you're going around. The divers do know, just at the point where they leave the board, where the legs are coming up fast or slow, and then from there on, you're already thinking about the out. What do you do? Where do you place your feet? And I'm watching the reaction underwater, and you can tell he's disappointed with himself. He didn't get his hands together. So 2.98. That's only 62 points. He only scores 70. It would have been over 300 at this point. So he has a huge list. This is his 3.4, but he's got a 3.5, and then in the last round he's doing his front 4.5, the 3.8. Good effort there, maybe a smidge out early. Comfortable at the start. Yeah, just a small move back there, feet flat, need to get them pointed. Again, when you're a little low like that, it's better just go from tuck to straight rather than do that transitional pike. 2.85, I think he'll take that as a miss. If he got into the 8.5s, that would be over 300 at the moment. And Tarachi 2.16, so he's 2 points ahead of Kim Yong-nam, who has just missed his in with 3.5. Yeah, good dive, nice steady dive for him. So slightly lower degree of difficulty at 3.0, but will it be nice? Just enough to go ahead of Kim on 2.85. Nice positioning of the arms after the 2.25, 2.88. So he just has, by 3 points, gone ahead of the Korean. Ui. Malaysia on 2.08, so he's 8 points at the moment behind Ken, who has just done pretty good in with 2.5, who's sitting comfortably at 2.88, but this 3.4 in with 3.5, chance to pick up now. No, he's missed it. He stayed in the tuck too long. He's buried his head in the tuck, lost sight of the water. And that is a disastrous fourth round dive. Good at this point. His chin now starts to pull in. He's going to lose sight of the water. It's a bit of a guess. He hasn't even looked at the water as he's coming around on the 3 1/4, and the guess hasn't worked out. And 2.59. And that bronze opportunity, we have to say that because of the two Chinese are so far ahead, that bronze medal opportunity is really slipping away. Sakai, back 2.5. Good first 3 dives, 2.21 at the moment. 3.0, this back 2.5. Needs to nail it, low degree of difficulty. Oh, and he has as well. Very sweet come out, pulls the dive around. So he'll be looking to get close to 300 points at the moment on 2.98 Chu of Malaysia. He'll be close to 290. He is 293. So he's not lost any position. So he's just 5 points behind the Malaysian at the moment. 3 dives to go. Wu Haran. Go back a little bit on that front 4.5, coming out early. He's back in the game though. 3.5, the reverse 3.5 just went up in the air. He's comfortable and he finished the triple at board level. Great takeoff here, quickly into tuck. As he comes around on the double, he's thinking about the triple, strong kick out, reach back, and the knee save goes in there. So after missing the 4.5, he's come back with a really strong reverse 3.5. At 2.88, keeps him within reach of Sakai and also the Malaysian, who is on 2.98 at the moment, so just 10 points separating. KO now, who is on 2.67, who has an 8-point lead of KC Yi. Back 3.5. Lined up in the wrong place, and the coaches have seen it, and judges probably see it too. He's got an 8-point lead at the moment. Squeezing well, increase the rotation there with the legs apart, feet back together. Yeah, the chin is tucked in, and that stops the arms getting that final reach back. So you'd actually think that is a miss at 8 for him, but he's on 3.55. So, KZ Yi, let's see, he is on 2.59, so he needs 96 points. It's a 3.5, a maximum of 105. You can do it on 9s, 9.5s. Which is going to get very close to a little bit of splash thrown up. That might keep it to an 8.5 and a 9. But he was creeping closer. He's only 8 points behind. There's the strong jump, the squeeze. Now he's going to come around, spot, kick, reach, and again, doesn't get the feel in his hands. A little bit of splash, that secondary splash been thrown up there. He's on 3.50, so he's pulled back another 3 points to be 5 points within Ko Yan's score. Wow, this is so close. 3.55 to the Olympic champion. Only 5 points away, or less than that now. 4.5 points for KZ Yi. It's going to be a battle between the Malaysian, Japanese, well, both the Japanese. Wu is in there as well. So these next 2 rounds, the final 2 rounds, it's all going to come down to consistency and who can hit their 3.8s and their 3.9s. Who can keep it together when the pressure's on? Who will get that bronze medal, because the Chinese at the moment are just too far ahead. Between them, gold and silver in the bag. But we have 2 more rounds to go. The start of round 5. Botarov of Azerbaijan who is currently in 11th place. With 2.5 pike. And again, misses the entry. Those are elementary mistakes. On a with 2.5, it's easy to come round. You spot the board, you spot the water, you can see where to place your hands. But he places his arms at the wrong part, doesn't reach forward, doesn't check the rotation, and it's gone over. It's a good in with 2.5 until it gets to the 2.25. 280. So at this point, you really do need to be well into the 300s. Pad 1 is currently on 249, so that's not too bad. Reverse 2.5 pike here. Currently in 10th. Yeah, and a good dive there. Tilt in, just kicks the feet down. Off to the side. I didn't see that on the start. He's now in front of the other board. That was a shame. Was in 10th. He's going to drop down into last, and you can see the cast going through the water. Sometimes the judges on the other side won't see that. That clearly big mistake. 285 for his 5th dive. Third diver in now, Putra. Reverse 2.5 somersaults pike. He's currently on 276. Yeah, good effort. Didn't need to pull so hard on the end, but the coach is happy. There's a little slap on the hand as well. There's the reach back into the pike. Just bent knees there. Corrects it on the second part of the somersault. Yeah, he's just looking over the top of his toes on the double, but didn't need to pull that dive that hard. He was happy with it, those 7.5. He's just saying, yeah, I wasn't tight enough. But he's on 339. So Kong, Ratapam of India, 214 at the moment. So under 60-point dive. This is a big one, 3.4. Ah, it's such a shame. Feet came apart on the second part of the double twist. And as soon as your feet come apart, it makes your body loose. Good throw. Now quickly out. One twist, two twists, feet apart, and yeah, once they're flying apart like that, it's just near impossible to get them back together again. Again, this is a strength thing. You need to go back in the gym, work on your conditioning. 281 for the 5th dive. Malaysia, just under 300 points. And a good competition at the moment. Reverse 2.5, 1.5 twist, 3-3. It's good as well. I thought it was a little slow with the arm swing, but he pulls in well after the 1.5 twist and gets his vertical entry. There's the reach back. Fast 1.5 twist. Now he digs a little deeper than normal, and it's worked for him. The feet come around, and he can get into a straight position as he goes through the water. So a good 8 dive. Judges agreeing pretty much there. 1.7.5 is knocked off. 3.78, he'll go with that. So just an announcement from the referee saying, please, no flash photography, especially on the twist, because you're coming around, you're looking at the seats, you don't want a flash to blind you. Yeah. Well, he's got 2 big dives. This is the first, a 3.5. Just a few points to make up. He's about 13 points behind. Reverse 3.5. Back a little bit, but it didn't matter. He kicks out strong. pulls it around. So the marker he's trying to get to is around 378. Good effort though on the kick out. A little untidy on the landing, but it feels nice and soft, the board there. Look, stays on it. Final score there is important, 3-6-4. He's still behind by 14 points. It's going to be a very scary last round for him. So Ken Karachi already with 1 medal, 288. Well, he got wobbly on that second twist. What happened there? Did he pull his chin down? Oh, he's missed it. See his reaction. So throws, but here he pulled his chin right down. His elbow dropped as well, and he gets a wobble in the second twist, and that killed the rotation as well. That's a miss. So Ken may have to just settle for that bronze medal that he got the other day. 5 divers still to go. Malaysian Ui, 259. He's dropped back. So probably out of the medals at the moment. Still in with a chance always, because he's got those 3-6 and 3-4. This 3-6 back, 3.5 somersaults tuck. Oh, what an effort. Spinning pretty fast, increases rotation halfway round by pulling the legs apart. There's the reach, quickly into the tuck. Just struggling a little bit there. Kicks the feet in the right place. It just arches the back a fraction too much. At 259. Really, it's too far back to get that medal. 3-3-6, yes, it's fading away. Others on 3-7-8 and 3-6-4. 4 divers now, still in round 5. Ai Shu with a reverse 3.5, 3-5. Oh, he's kicked out too early. I was wondering if the toes went over the end of the diving board. And you see that hesitation. He just floats in the water saying, why did I do that? All I had to do was stay in this tuck longer, kick my feet up a bit more, and I would squeeze an extra 20 points. But I didn't. I've gone very, very short. So that 293 advantage is now dropped down to 356. So it's a mistake. Well, it's an opportunity for Wu Haran. He is now just 5 points behind Sakai, who's just missed that reverse 3.5. This, though, is a lower degree of difficulty, 3-0, back 2.5 pike. Still got his 3-9 to come in the final round. Beautiful dive. That's the way to do a back 2.5. The crowd aren't cheering it. It was a good dive. Maybe because they wanted an extra somersault. The pull forward, legs come up easy, using his eyes. There's the ball, the kick down, reaching back. Yeah, the hand was nice and flat, the arm squeezed hard by his ears. Well, 360, that takes him 4 points ahead, Sakai, who's on a 356. So he's now picked up 10 points just on that one dive, and it's 3.0. KO. He's on at 355, teammate. KZE, 5 points behind. This, a 3-9. 3.5 somersaults, triple twist. This is the big one. Oh, he's missed his takeoff. He gets there, though, on the end. He lands on the left-hand corner. His toes are over the end. Coaches are shaking their head. They knew what was going on, and he still makes it. Look, his toes are over the end. He gets out, though, still goes for the triple twist. When he comes around, he's surprised. I can see the water. I've got time to lock out. Well, look at that. 4-4-8, and he missed his takeoff. It would be 460 if he was on his 9s. 4-4-8 now. marker. KCE, who is just 3 points behind, but he has a 0.2 deficit in degree of difficulty with his 407B. The in with 3.5 somersaults in a pike. Still a massive dive. Most divers just do it in a tuck position. Oh, he might have done it. 98 points would take him ahead of the Olympic champion. The maximum you can score is 107. Will he get 9.5s on it? Will he go more than 4.48? That is probably the dive of the competition. 4.56. Well, he goes into the lead. 4.56 against 4.48. A massive score going into the final round. So KZE, the world champion, picks up more than 5 points, goes ahead. He's now ahead by 8 points over Kaoyan. And look at that, it's now a battle between Chu and Kim of Malaysia and Korea. And look at that, Wu Haram is coming back. He's there, he's on 360, it's still a chance, it's 18 points back, but those three have a chance for a bronze medal. Bui, it has slipped away, he's back in 9th place. And the others are now just diving for experience. They want to put in a very good last dive. But what an amazing 5th round dive. 3.7 down by 0.2, 5 points behind, now 8 points in the lead. So final diver, Botarov of Uzbekistan, with a forward 3.5 somersaults pike. Putting in a good show, done a good job, strong diver, just needs a little bit more work back. And a good dive to finish, 3.1. So when he looks at the replay with his coach and starts to analyse, he'll just see a few mistakes here coming out. Yes, flying out, the arms drop down away from the water. It takes a long time then to move your arms back towards the water. But still, it was great to make that final. Qualified in 12th place and finishes with 3.36. A little hug from the coach for the effort made. 11 divers to go. Currently on 2.85. Junta Padawan. Pleased if he can get close to 3.40. Go ahead of Botarov. Qualified ahead of him this morning. This is Twister. And not with that dive. Out of timing, jumping forward, didn't reach up in the hurdle step. And as soon as you start to go towards the swimming pool, you've lost your height. And are very loose in the twist, crashes into the water. So if he goes below 3.36, he'll go into last place for the moment, and it's 3.28. So yes, he's behind Botarov. So the crowd have really got behind the Indonesians. On a good show, and a good score at the moment. Pucha on 3.39. Wow, a wobbly 2.5 somersaults with one twist, but it worked for him. So drops his arms, throws, and then his chin comes in, doesn't even wrap his arms around his body, but still gets to the water for a reasonably straight dive. So that 4.03, anything in the 400s, is pretty good. So that's mid-range world class. So well done. And now with his big dive. Inward 3.5, 3.3. It's back on 2.81 though, so no hope for a medal for the Indian, but he's done very well. No medals at Asian Championships, had a 7th and 8th, so good experience for him here. So this is a technique problem, not a strength problem. He's got the strength to do really good in with 3.5s, but you can't muscle it. You can't trip over the sprays either. So as he throws, he backs off rather than getting the jump up. So no matter how much strength you've got, if you haven't got the height, you haven't got time to get the line up. Tries to scoop the entry to pull the legs back up, but when you're that short, it doesn't work. 3, 2, 5 to finish. So at the moment, he's back in 12th place. To Malaysia. 3.78. That's a good score. Chance for a medal. Oh, wow, what an effort as well. He's had a remarkable performance all the way through the competition. Consistent, he's on 3.78. This is his 3.4. Good throw. There's the double twist. Comes around, he's at board level. Good at this point, punches for the water. A little bit splashy there. And they think it could be enough for that bronze medal. It's going to have to wait and see, but what a score, 4, 5, 6. In most cases, that will be good enough. There's a few others behind him. Ken Yong-nam, who's on 3.64, 14 points before. Behind him, he's got a 3.8. It's 4.5 somersaults. Can go over 100 points if it's done well. No, it's gonna crash, and he did. His toes are over the end right from the beginning. He tried very hard. He knew 14 points is within reach, but even on a 3.8, you can't do the dive. Toes over the end, can't get the final push. Even pulling the legs apart doesn't increase the rotation enough. And again, he's finishing a meter too low, and then even tries to bike out of it, just to go from straight to tuck. Still very friendly, 406. That's a good score, but it's not as nice as having a medal. Have to stick with the one he's got already. And same with Ken. So always a steady dive for him, the 3.5 pike. That's where he puts it in the 6th round. So too far back and too low degree of difficulty for a medal. But Ken has that bronze already. He's done proud for Japan. So the only medal of the competition so far, with 8 events, Ken at least has put Japan on the medal board, but no second medal on 4.31. Louis Yang back on 3.36. That's just too many points to catch up. He's got a 3.4, 2.5, 2 twist. 30 points down though at the moment. Yeah, pretty good final dive. It's just you feel a little bit drained when you know you can't get to that podium. It's very, very hard to get yourself up for that final dive. Pretty good here. Nice twist. Arm position there, checking out is fine, but doesn't grab his hands. Splash thrown up. Another dive there into the 400s at 4.13. So Sakai in one of the best positions. He is on 3.60. Good 3.5 somersaults. 3.1 probably won't be good enough. Have to see though. At the moment, should go into the 400s. Yeah, just broke arm position a little early going through the water. Legs a little bit loose at this point. 4.30. So That tucks him behind Shu of Malaysia. 3 divers to go. Woo. Woo, this has to be the best 2.5 triple twist of your life. 3.9. Missed his takeoff, but he got there. I think it's going to be too far forward, but it's a 3.9. He really went for the hurdle step, but you can hear the stamp on the board. That kills the spring. Triple twist coming up. The water's coming up very fast to him. And it's that drift forward that keeps the dive moving. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Can he go past it? No, 4, 2, 2. So that's an amazing result then from Chu of Malaysia, who is on 4, 5, 6 at the moment. 2 divers to go. Okay, 1. Oh, he piked out too early. He's dropped short. And he was 8 points behind KZ, who overtook him in the last round. So, the reigning Asian champion might have just faltered and might have to settle for a silver medal. 540 points is still an amazing score, but it's not amazing enough if your teammate goes even higher. So at the moment, Crazy Yi is on 4, 5, 6. That means he only needs 84 points on this 4.5 to take gold. Yes, it's going to be gold for KZ Yi, the world champion. Is definitely gone ahead of the 2-time Olympic champion, his teammate. And what a way to do it. Well, 4.5 just keeps going up. The pressure was on. He held the tug, pikes out at board level, locks out going through the water. And he's got a massive score coming up. 5-6-0, that's a 20-point lead. So he's gained an extra 28 points. Okay, Yan, the Olympic champion. And there's the results, it's official. KZ Yi, 560, Olympic champion. Yan on 450. But look at another amazing accomplishment for the Malaysian diver, another medal, and it's a bronze to pick up with the other bronze for Chu. The others, good job, but the inconsistency, it does have its effect. And we had 9 divers in the 400s, and that just shows a world-class competition that has just been witnessed here in this fabulous pool in Jakarta. Like I said, it was watching almost the finals in Rio. You have the champion, KZ Yi. Yan has to settle for silver. And it's a disappointment for the gold that he had from 4 years ago. So both of these go home with 2 Asian medals. Yan with a gold and a silver. KZ Yi with 2 golds. And China again keep rolling on with those gold medals and those silver medals. That's 8 golds out of 8 for this competition. That's 78 golds out of 78 since 1974. I think that's before colour television. And we still have 2 more events to go. We did say 4 years ago, would the Chinese win 10 events? And we thought perhaps not, but they did. And now with 1 day to go, we're saying, can they possibly do it yet again? And look at some of these brilliant dives that we've seen. Dives that are scoring 100 points, and 560 is a massive score. That is the score that could win an Olympic Games. And it was a real battle between 2 titans. 23-year-old Yan had to give way, though, to the younger 22 KZ Yi for that gold medal. He'll have to look back 4 years and get the medal out of the box and polish it and just say what it could have been if I'd hit my front 4.5. Good effort from the rest of the divers in this final. But you have really witnessed one of the best men's 3-meter finals ever seen in the world in a major championship. It's China gold yet again and China silver yet again. 1-2 for the individual competitions for some 40 years. Well, I'm Chris Snowd, and I have to say that was the most amazing and enjoyable competition that I've seen for a long time. And I hope that you'd stay around for us to see the medals presented to the women in the 1-meter competition and the men's that we've just seen. And the ceremony is coming up shortly, so stay with us and we'll be back soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for women's 1-meter springboard. Please welcome the athletes.
So out come the medal winners for the women's 1-meter final. And what a terrific final it was. It's a real battle between Wang Han of China and Chen Yi Wu. And such a difficult competition, a 1 meter. That smiles all around. It's the experience of the older diver that won through in the end. One hand winning by some 17 points. A remarkable performance from the Koreans. Kim Soo-ji. Malaysia are back up there along with the Koreans for the medals. And it's Kim Soo-ji of Korea scoring 2.65. That's a good score, but just couldn't catch those Chinese divers. But she went ahead of Sabri on that last dive to pip her for that bronze medal by 1.5 points. So a very happy Kim Soo-ji. Eighth at the World Championships. We knew she was very strong. She has a world ranking at the moment of 26. And a silver medal after that huge battle. Chen Yu Wen, a 19-year-old who was very consistent all the way through, just missed that last dive, just scraping into the 300 points. It was a similar story in the prelims where she qualified in 11th place. And what a hard list of dives too. Most of the dives in the 60s and 70s to go and break that 300 points. In some cases that would have been a gold medal. Picking up one of the 3 mascots, Utang, which symbolises speed. But today, it's all about Wang Han, the 27-year-old, 3-time world champion, silver 4 years ago, had to wait 4 years and put in the most remarkable performance to score 323.55. I thought that would be the record, but I look back and it's just 2.5 points less than Wu Minzhao with that amazing 326 some 8 years ago. So we have just witnessed one of the highest scoring 1 meter competitions ever. Not the highest scoring, but one of them. And Wang came out on top. And there we have the 7th podium medals given out of these championships. Gold yet again to China, silver to China. Kim Soo-ji of Korea picks up their 4th team medal. And that's the first for the women as well, because it was Wu of the men that have got the other 3 medals. So a good performance all around. Only 3 teams in the diving have actually got medals. China now on 7 gold and 3 silvers. Democratic People's Republic of Korea have got medals, 1 silver and 3 bronzes. Korea now up to 4 medals, 2 silver and 2 bronzes. And Malaysia have a silver and a bronze. And a little bit later, we'll add that with a bronze, an extra bronze for Malaysia because of the men's competition, where Chewy Yui just got a bronze medal. We can see that in a moment. But for the moment, the time is spent cheering, congratulating the most amazing Chinese women team. 1-2, and a huge score to finish. Nearly a record, not quite. That's stood for 8 years. We'll have to stand for another 4 years until the next Asian Games. And 1 meter diving is not in the Olympics, but it's in the World Championships. It's also in the regional or the territorial competitions like Asia, like the Commonwealth Games, like the Pan American Games, but not the Olympics. It's in the World Championships, maybe soon coming to the World Cup. So it's only a few rare times that we get to see world-class diving that we've just witnessed from these two divers, Wang and Chen. So shortly we'll be coming up with the men's results, where it was a battle between the Olympic champion and the world champion. World champion prevailed. We're getting ready, just finishing off the photo call for these two. And tomorrow we have the 2 final competitions. Hope you can join us. We're going to have the prelims in the morning. That's the women's 3 meter. And in action will be a lot of the divers that were in the finals of the women's 1 meter. And then the blue ribbon event, everybody's waiting to see, that has waited for 5 days. It's the men's 10 meter competition. And will China win the 9th and 10th gold here on the springboard and platform in that final day? We'll have to wait and see. So the other thing that's been really amazing in this competition, we haven't seen it today, but we've witnessed 5 10s. And if we're going to see any more 10s, it's likely to come tomorrow. So do join us. We can count them as the divers disappear in the water with some of the hardest dives up on that 10 meter board. You have to be fearless to do diving up there, I tell you. So 2 10s for the women at the moment, and then the Chinese, and also the men's team. They have 3 10s between them. So 5 10s in all, and just shows the true world-class standard. Chinese have set the standard since 1992, the Barcelona Olympics. They took over from the Americans in the strength, and since then all the other nations have been copying their style. And very similar, we see the Malaysians, the Koreans, and now even the lesser diving nations having the same style as the Chinese, because they've broken it down. We call it coaching by numbers. You know, if you look at a picture, you break it down and every bit is perfect. You put the picture back together and there you've got your Mona Lisa of diving. It's the Chinese style. So stay with us for the final ceremony this evening. We've had lots of diving, probably 600, nearly 700 dives in total. And looking at the judging, there was only 5 or 6 times, so less than 1%, where the judges were out. And when I look back on the replay, that particular judge who gave for 4.5, I could see why. He spotted the twist and the others didn't, and it was fair, he gave it. But now we are ready for the final presentation this evening. It's the men's 3 meter competition. And here comes out a couple of very tired divers. They've been up very early. They were training this morning. They had to get through the prelims. There was an elimination where 3 divers got knocked out, and then they had to wait for the final event later this evening, which has just happened. You can see the frustration when the divers missed their dives. But it has been a masterclass yet again from the Chinese divers. Our first presentation is going to do Malaysia, who have done so well up to this point. 1 silver and 1 bronze. So his first medal of the competition, Chu Yi-Wu, and a well-deserved bronze. Malaysia now have 3 across the board. That's a really successful competition for them. More opportunities tomorrow on the men's 10 metre and the women's 3 metre. But for the moment, we have that very happy Xu Yiwei. And he gets bin. That's the bird that symbolises strategy. And it's worked out for him, hasn't it? He qualified back there in 7th place and then just leapfrogged over everybody to get the bronze. But the silver medal today to a little bit of a disappointed and more experienced Olympic champion, Gao Yang. So the champion from 4 years ago has to settle for that silver medal. He's still got those 2 Olympic golds in the bag, so that's some consolation. And it really was a performance, faltering just at the end with that front 4.5. And he dropped back some 20 points when he missed his 3.8. But still, very good cloud freezer. He has 1 gold already. Now this is a silver. But what amazing performance from this 22-year-old world champion. He was world champion 2015, world champion last year, won the World Cup this year, and now he is the Asian Games champion. 2 golds to his names and a massive win of 20 points, 560. It dwarfed even though the Olympic champion score. And his cat or strength, the hippo, but that's more important, the rhino. The Olympic medal will be in sight in a couple of years' time, Olympic qualification next year. But for now, he is champion of Asia. So the 8th Olympic, the 8th Asian gold medal to China. And there they are, all the medalists together. As we said before, these divers are all friends. They see each other as many times, sometimes as much as once a month on the circuit, the Grand Prix, the World Grand Prix, and the individual internationals. Lots of experience between them. But today it goes to the world champion, KZ Yi. And what an amazing 4.5. We'll be dreaming about that, replaying it to all the younger divers, say this is how you do it in the future when you're stronger. A lot of the other nations have imported Chinese coaches. So in England, there are 5 at the moment. And also, there's several over in Australia, Canada. There's former Olympic medalists and finalists from earlier days when the Chinese first came in, over in American universities coaching. And the reach and the influence of the Chinese diving style has gone throughout the world over these last 30 years. Some of the countries have adapted their styles, so they have a slightly east and west style to it. But it's so good to see in these Asian Games. This is world-class performance at its best. So I'm Chris Snowd. Hope you've enjoyed the competition today. I'm going to finish with a few shots of some of those fine, near-perfect dives. No 10s, very close to it. A lovely performance of Indonesian dancing just before the start of the men's competition. A country so rich in culture and heritage. And this Games has been a great opportunity for Indonesia to highlight everything that is good and great about them. And the organisation, well, it's been fantastic. I have to say, we can call this the friendliest Games. I've never said hello and how are you, and had a little bow walking from the hotel to the pool. It's quite inspiring, really, and maybe a few things other countries could take in. The volunteers I was reading, their hat off to them. They have been well trained, well rehearsed, and it's a joy. And we say thank you to them while we have this moment as well. So tomorrow, do join us. We have the preliminaries in the morning. We have the women's 3 meter, first of all, and then the men's platform, and then the final 2 finals in the evening. And do join us because we expect to see more perfect dives from world-class diving. So from me, Chris Snowd, I hope to see you very soon. And we'll leave you with that thought. 8 golds for 8 for the Chinese diver, maybe 2 more tomorrow.
AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพ เปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจ สู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ